students, you're welcome to this lecture. I am Dr. Gijo Aibakri Hari of the Department of Biological Sciences, United Delta University, Nigeria, and I am here to prepare you for your exams. And today's lecture will be on how you can understand common terms and expressions used in exams. We're going to look at objective questions, sub-objective questions, and essay questions, and the terms that are used in each of these types of questions. Now, objective questions. Objective questions are also referred to as multiple choice questions, where a candidate is expected to choose options, for instance, options A, B, C, and D, to choose the right option and either shade or click the right or tick the right answer, as the case may be. In computer-based exams, the students are expected to click the answer, the option, in the computer. Then, in some cases too, the students may be expected to choose whether the answer is true or false. So those ones are called true or false questions. In that case, the student is expected to click or tick either true or false. For instance, an examiner may ask, amphibians are tetrapod vertebrates that inhabit both aquatic and terrestrial habitats. True or false? Now, the answer is true, so the student is expected to click true and leave out false. The next type of questions are sub-objective questions. In this case, the students are expected to provide the answers, either by writing them in the space provided or by filling blank spaces. Okay, those are sub-objective questions. In such cases, the students are expected to take care to be sure that the spellings of words are very correct, especially in science, biological terms. The biological term or name is properly spelled. The third type of questions we want to look at are essay questions. Essay questions are questions that require the candidates to express themselves in writing. Now I want to look at specific terms that are used, terms and expressions that are used in essay questions. Number one, define. Your examiner may ask you to define. In that case, you are expected to only define. For instance, the examiner may ask you to define metamorphosis. If you're asked to define metamorphosis, you define it, just give the definition. Metamorphosis is a phenomenon in which an organism changes abruptly as it grows from a juvenile to an adult. Or metamorphosis is a phenomenon in which an organism undergoes changes as it grows from the juvenile to an adult. That's definition. But you may be asked, the second type of question is, what is metamorphosis? You may be asked, what is? In that case now, it's different from define. What is means you have to explain, or what are. If someone says, what is metamorphosis? You can now say metamorphosis is a phenomenon in which an organism undergoes morphological and physiological changes as it grows from the juvenile to an adult. You may even go ahead to give examples of organisms. Typical examples of organisms that undergo metamorphosis are some insects, toads and frogs, and other animals. During metamorphosis, the organism changes in shape and also in the internal and external anatomy, or it changes morphologically and physiologically. For instance, in frogs and toad, the egg hatches to form the tadpole. From the tadpole, tadpole that doesn't have gills, tadpole that have external gills to the one that has internal gills, and then to the stage where the legs and arms are formed, and then the tail is gradually absorbed and it becomes an adult. That's what is, okay, or what are. You explain in detail, okay, you explain in detail. Now what if you are asked the next term or expression that's used in essay question number 3 is list or mention. If you're asked for list or mention, you list the what you're expected to list. For instance, if you are asked to list the types of metamorphosis, you can now say the types of metamorphosis are complete metamorphosis and incomplete metamorphosis. Okay. Complete metamorphosis and incomplete metamorphosis. The types of metamorphosis are 1. Complete metamorphosis, 2. Incomplete metamorphosis. So you're expected to list. Okay. But if they say mention, you say the types of metamorphosis are complete metamorphosis and incomplete metamorphosis. So in listing, you write numbers. Number 1, complete metamorphosis. 2, incomplete metamorphosis. When they say mention, you may decide to list or you write them as a statement. The types of metamorphosis are complete metamorphosis and incomplete metamorphosis. Then the 4th term that's used, that's number 4, that's used in essay questions is explain. When they say explain, you are expected to explain in details. You could be asked, explain the process of photosynthesis. In that case, you define and also proceed to explain how the process takes place. Or you may be asked, explain the human digestion in humans. You explain the process. Then the expression narrate, that's the 5th term. Narrate is also used in exams, usually in the arts and social sciences. In that case, you're expected to narrate. Okay, it could be a history, or it could be an experience you had. Okay, you're expected to tell a story. Okay, that's not used in the sciences, but it's used in the arts and social sciences. So, in that case, you tell a story. The 6th term that's used in biology or in other fields is describe. Describe. Okay. Sometimes the examiner will also say describe and include diagrams. So to describe, you describe, write in detail a description of an event or a phenomenon. For instance, you're expected to describe the nitrogen cycle. Okay. When you're describing the nitrogen cycle, you explain it in detail, step by step, from nitrogen fixation to nitrification to ammonification to denitrification, or assimilation first, assimilation, then denitrification, and as the case may be, explain the entire process. Then you also include diagrams, particularly in describing the biogeochemical cycles. But sometimes, in some cases, when the description doesn't require diagrams, you also leave it. But if that thing you were taught has a diagram, it's also good to include the diagrams. Some examiners may also, after asking you, for instance, describe the nitrogen cycle, they may also put in bracket, include diagram, to ensure that you do the description, a complete description. Another term that's used, the 7th term that's used in essay questions, is discourse. Discourse. In that case, you are expected to discuss the process or anything. For instance, discuss the process of alternation of generations. So in that case, you discuss.